My name is Kristy, and I'm the owner and creative director of Uptown Curl. I was inspired to start curly hair salons based on my own experience as a curly girl. I was inspired by Diva Curl in the beginning of my career when I was still in cosmetology school, and I realized that not only did I want to be a hairstylist, but I wanted to be a curly hair stylist. So I never intended to own my own salon. I was actually sort of dead set on not owning a salon because before I became a stylist behind the chair, I worked in salon management, being a receptionist, being a front desk manager, and I knew how much work it was. And so I was really, I don't want to say terrified, but I was I think I had a healthy fear and I was a little bit hesitant about it. But I realized with how easily all the doors opened and how supportive the community was, that it was where I was meant to be and where I'm supposed to be, and there's no turning back now. So thankfully I grew up in the pre-flat iron era. I'm aging myself a little bit. So when I was in high school, we didn't have flat irons. And so I was forced to always wear my hair curly as a kid, and it was very, very curly. I was treated a little bit like a bizarre anomaly, almost like a petri dish when I would go into salons because, you know, I grew up in a small town in Wisconsin and everyone around me was Caucasian and having really highly textured curly hair. They were like, oh my God, have you ever seen hair like this before? So I was used to having that sort of experience. And then when I did get old enough where I could take control of my own hair in my early 20s and through a lot of my early 30s, I did everything you could possibly do to destroy your hair. I did relaxers, I did glue-in weaves, I did sew-in weaves, I bleached the crap out of it. I brought it to the brink of death, and I'm happy to say that I had all of those experiences because I can have a much better understanding of where people come from, where they're at in their curly journey, and I can say, I have done these things, don't do that, and I would never do any of them again, so. So Uptown Curl, everyone has curly hair. Everyone is happy about having curly hair. We're happy that you have curly hair. We're excited that people come here wherever they are, whether they're just beginning or if they've been wearing their hair curly for a long time. And we know that this is a unique space because we focus on naturally curly hair, but I hope that it's getting to a place where people just feel like they're coming to the salon as well, you know, and that it's not so strange that everyone, whether they work here or are clients here, that everyone has curly hair. So it's really a place that people are going to get taken care of the way that they should get taken care of, that they're working with clients who have an expertise in their curl type and their texture, and that we learn from each other, and that everyone is just really about embracing whatever kind of hair you have. We sell Diva Curl, we have Jessie Curl, we have Curly World, we have Intersense Organic, and we're also introducing Intelligent Nutrients, which is another organic line. And the commonality between all of our product lines is that they all fall under the umbrella of the Curly Girl method. They're Curly Girl friendly, meaning that they're free of sulfates and detergents, they're free of silicones, they're free of any kind of harsh chemicals, any kind of non-water soluble ingredients. So Uptown Curl specializes in curly hair specialty cutting and coloring. All of our hairstylists have been trained in curl by curl cutting, which is the original Curly Girl handbook method of individual curl cutting. We've also all been trained in the Diva Curl method of cutting, and we also know how to do pintura highlighting, which is hand-painted sort of balayage technique of highlighting. And we also, in addition to doing the pintura highlighting, we have a very strong understanding about how porosity can affect hair coloring. And we really pride ourselves on being able to deliver wonderful hair color results for curly hair because it is very, very different. Part of the reason why we're so popular is because we are reaching out to the majority of people. Most people have wavy or curly or super curly. It's at least 75% of the population. So people that want to embrace their naturally curly texture we're here for them. We're not going to try to blow them out or straighten them or do anything that is going to take them out of their natural curl pattern. So we're serving the majority of people out there. There's a few different curly hair types. There's a couple of different ways that curly hair is classified. So in Lorraine's book, Curly Girl, the handbook, she talks about swavy, which is the loosest of the curl type. It's sort of a straight wavy. And then there's wavy, there's curly or Botticelli, Corticelli, and then there is fractal curls, which are like the tightest, very fine. And there's also the sort of letter number system that naturallycurly.com, and I think Oprah's hairstylist came up with this, but a lot of people are familiar with it, like the 2A, 2B, 2C. And there's a lot of similarities, like everything under the classification of 2 is wavy, under 3 is curly, and under 4 is super curly. And then the A, B, or C just denotes sort of the texture of the hair from like fine, medium to coarse underneath those umbrella terms. And I would say that the majority of people, are probably somewhere in like the wavier curly category, and they might not even realize that they have that much curl in their hair. If they're in the type 4 or if they have super curly hair, they definitely know that they have curls. There's no question about it. It's important to have those different classifications because it helps women make good decisions about what products they should be buying, how to apply their products, what their hair needs specifically in order to best maintain their hair. And it's also important for us because we need to understand and be able to recognize the different shrink factors that happen with curls. Some women's hair, it might only spring maybe like an inch or 2 if you pull it, or from wet to dry, but then other curl types, it can shrink as much as 8 to 10 inches when pulled out completely straight. And that is a huge difference. So being able to recognize someone's spring factor or their shrink factor is really important to giving them a good haircut. What sets us apart is our undying passion and dedication to doing curly hair. We don't do blowouts. We don't do any kind of straightening or smoothing techniques. We're all just completely dedicated to the Curly Girl method and the Curly Girl lifestyle. And we love that, and we're totally unapologetic about it. Cutting the curls dry is extremely important because we wear our hair dry. And in Lorraine's words, we wear our hair dry, we don't wear it wet. So why would we cut it wet? When our hair is wet, any of us who have curly hair knows that it is longer, the curls are looser, and then when it dries, it contracts. So it's just like, when you go to a fabric store and they cut the fabric for you, they're cutting it dry. They're not gonna cut it wet. I mean, it would be a completely, like the line would be all wavy, it would be crooked. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to cut your curls when they are wet because it is going to contract in an unpredictable manner. Some people have curlier on the bottom, curlier on the top, curlier on one side or the other, and you can't account for that when their hair is wet because everything is going to look homogeneous and you don't have a proper idea of how much you're really taking off of that hair until it's dry, and then it's like, uh-oh, like I cut too much off, and then you can't take it back. So curly hair should only ever be cut dry. We're extremely conservative. We always take a very conservative approach to cutting curly hair because we can't put it back on once it's gone. We prefer to cut it, hydrate it at the sink, bring them back and style it, and then we can always take more off if we need to, and we would much rather take that approach than being too aggressive and taking too much. It's important to have more and more stylists specializing in curly hair because this isn't just a trend, this is really a lifestyle. This is the way that people are born. They're born with curly hair. More and more people have curly hair and they're wearing their curly hair, they're embracing it. And I really think that if hairstylists want to stay at the forefront of the industry, if they want to continue to grow, they need to start realizing and understanding and educating themselves on this technique and this method. My curly hair right now, I want to say it's in transition. I'm in this transitional place with my hair where I'm like, oh, I just want my old hair back, you know, but it's also a really good place to be because, again, it's something that so many women deal with, postpartum baby hair, and also women who are maybe just coming out of relaxing their hair or straightening their hair all the time. There's this weird in-between place where, you know, your hair isn't like totally perfect in the way that it's going to be, but it's where you are now, and you just need to like live in that for a little bit because it's gonna be better. And it's good to remind me that being in that transition place can be really hard and really frustrating, and it can tempt women to straighten their hair again, but you can't. You gotta just soldier on, just get through it. The word I would use right now to describe my hair would be delicate. And I wanna treat it very kindly, even though I'm not always happy with it every day. Be very, very kind to my hair because it's in a delicate place right now, So you can go to our website, which is uptowncurl.com. There's a link to book on our Minneapolis location as well as our Stillwater location. You can also call the salon, which is 612-326-4792. And our Stillwater location is 651-342-1111. You can also send us an email to info@uptowncurl.com.